Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Priscilla. I make videos where I talk about self-improvement, self-development, mindset, spiritual, personal growth, which for me is really about taking a good look at yourself, taking responsibility and accountability for your life. Realizing that life is not just happening to you and that we have control in how our life is going and the things that we are experiencing in life. With that being said, I don't want to make it seem like it's not about holding anyone accountable. You have every right to be upset of how people are showing up, especially if you're investing time and energy into an individual who's not showing up properly, who's not reciprocating, who's disrespecting you. These things can be very upsetting. So I'm not taking away from that, and I'm not taking away from holding people accountable, because holding people accountable shows them that we respect ourselves, that we love ourselves, and that they cannot show up for us in that way. But really focusing on what it is that you can control, which is how you react and how you feel, is taking your power back. Because whenever we are emotionally reacting to everyone around us and we're allowing other people to influence how we feel, and that completely throws off our whole entire day, even our whole entire life, then we are giving our power away. So you decide how people show up in your life based on how you treat yourself. And this can be applied to all situations, which is what I'm going to talk about today. Holding people accountable when they are crossing your boundaries, when they are disrespecting you. The last few times that I found myself to be triggered were actually encounters I had with strangers. So there's going to be times where you're doing everything right and you have people in your life that love you, that respect you, but we live in a world full of people. People that are not self-aware, people that have no emotional regulation, people that are just projecting themselves and all of their insecurities onto other people, and they're basically just ticking time bombs waiting to explode. The last time for me was whenever I was driving on the freeway. It was 2 lanes that were merging into one, and there was nowhere else for me to go. I had my signal, I was going slow, but the person behind me was so upset that I ended up getting in front of him, that he felt the need to cut me off, going around me through the shoulder, getting in front of me, completely stopping his car and sticking his head and his arms out the window, calling me all kinds of names. For like a good 2 minutes, he was just sitting there parked, completely stopping traffic. And all I was doing was just observing him, because this person has never seen me a day in his life, yet he feels so strongly about me having to merge onto his lane. Dealing with strangers is so much easier at times because we can understand that it is not personal. Like, this person doesn't even know my name, and the fact that he's reacting in this way lets me know that he has a lot of things going on in his life that he's not taking care of, that he's not acknowledging. So it's really about him. It has nothing to do with me. And then I had another encounter that was similar, where I was driving through someone's driveway, and the person had never seen me there in that neighborhood, and he was just questioning me on why I was there and why I was driving. So I get in my car, and I was just delivering something to someone, and I get in my car and I'm like, okay, well, I'm leaving, and he's trying to block my my exit, standing in the driveway, cussing at me. And I went around him, and he was so upset that he tried to kick my car, but he ended up hurting himself more than he even hurt my car. So both of the situations, I was at a distance from them. I was in my car. I didn't respond to them. I didn't react to them. I didn't say anything to them. All I did was observe them. And sometimes just staring at people will make them go even crazier, because they realize that whatever they have going on is about themselves. And when you do not give them the energy that they're giving you, that's going to tick them off even more. Because that is what feeds them. They want some sort of reaction. So I'm not going to react, because I don't care. As long as my safety is not at stake, I'm good. Now, if they were to have approached my car, if they were had to come up to me, I already had my phone in my hand. In any situation where someone is coming at me crazy, I always have my phone in my hand because look, I'm gonna call the cops, I'm gonna record you acting crazy. Always have something on yourself that can protect you as well, whether that is a mace, whether that is a taser, whether that is any other weapon that you can use in order to protect yourself, especially if you're a woman, especially if you're alone a lot, whenever you're driving or whatever it is, when you're going out shopping, it doesn't matter. Always have a way to protect yourself. Safety is the most important thing first and foremost. Therefore, I rather remove myself, be on my way, see you later. Don't want to be involved in that. Now, when it comes to family members and loved ones and friends, things can get a little more complicated. If you are the person that you say you are and you carry yourself in that way, then you are going to have certain boundaries that are just energetic, and people are just going to know that about you because your boundaries are going to be integrated into your personality, into who you are. And whenever you show up somewhere, people are already going to know, like, oh, he doesn't put up with that, she doesn't put up with that, let me not approach her in this way, let me not talk to him like that because I already know that he's not going to put up with that. But then sometimes you have people that can get a little too comfortable and think that it is okay to start pushing your buttons and start pressing on your boundaries to see how far they can get. So you have to really ask yourself, what are the boundaries that you have? What is important to you? What is not important to you? What your non-negotiables are? Because that's going to look different for every single person. There might be some things that you might be okay with that the other person might not be okay with. There might be some things that you are willing to compromise in that another person might not be able to compromise in. So it's really about you deciding what that looks like to you. And then, okay, so this is a non-negotiable for me, which means that if you cross this boundary, then I'm going to have to remove you from my life. I'm going to have to create this distance between us because I don't allow people to treat me in this way and continue to have access to me. So for me, anyone calling me out of my name, becoming aggressive, shouting and screaming, telling me F yous and calling me bitchs and all this other stuff is a non-negotiable. I do not care who you are. You will not call me out of my name. You will not disrespect me. Yes, it is about observing your emotions and how you feel, but you also let them know that you cannot be talked to in that way. And this is going to come from a place of self-respect for yourself. So you have to think about the way that you're responding. I'm not going to match their energy. I'm going to keep it very quick, very simple. I'm going to cut it right here and I'm going to remove myself quickly. You're not going to talk to me in this way. That is very disrespectful. No one in my life treats me like this. Moving forward, I no longer wish to have any kind of relationship with you. I no longer wish to have this kind of connection with you. This is unacceptable. And I would leave it at that. Let it be known that you no longer want to have this relationship with them and move on. So whenever you're setting these boundaries, it's not just about setting them, but it's also about enforcing them. So don't be saying things and then taking it back because your word is going to have absolutely no meaning. And these people are going to walk all over you. So if it's something that you know that you cannot sustain, don't even go there. Make sure that you are very sure in what you're saying whenever you are taking the next step on cutting someone out of your life. But if a person is pushing themselves after you've already told them that you no longer want to have any contact with them, hold these people accountable. Don't be scared to call the cops. Don't be scared to stand up for yourself in whatever ways you see that is needed. So many people are scared to call the cops and are scared to take legal matters because they're like, oh no, they're going to look at me like I'm this and that. No. If you cross my boundary and I already said that I don't want you in my life and you keep showing up, I'm taking that as a form of harassment and I'm taking legal action, period. You got to let it be known. These people are going to keep walking all over you and messing with you. Not here, baby. But the way that you're responding to this is not coming from a place where you're emotionally reacting. It's coming from a place of being very logical, being very sure of yourself, and sticking to that. This is how I treat myself. This is how I respect myself. And if you cross this boundary, my non-negotiable, then this will be the consequence. Again, do not be afraid to hold them accountable. So if you live with someone who is constantly triggering you and disrespecting you, it's going to be a little bit different because you don't have that space in order to remove yourself from every situation. So if you set a boundary and that person doesn't care and they're continuing to talk to you in whichever way, then you have to realize that that is no longer a place for you. You have to start creating a plan in your head in order to either remove that person from your house, or you remove yourself from them, or going about your separate ways. There has to be something that is created in order to start making space. Because ultimately, no one can live like that. If you are dependent on this person, then you have to start thinking of ways that you can become independent. If that means saving up money, getting a job, looking for a friend, family member to live with, moving out, or if they're in your place, finding ways to get them to move out. And this is for non-negotiables, for things that you can no longer put up with. Everyone deserves to have a stress-free life full of people that loves them, full of people that respects them, and you are the one that decides how that's going to look. By deciding who is able to be in your life and who is not. And all of this is really based on how you feel and treat yourself. Because if I love myself and I respect myself, I'm not going to allow anyone to come into my life that disrespects me. And I don't care who you are. I talk to my children in this very way. Whenever it is that you want something, speak up. Let it be known. Do not be afraid to tell people how you feel and what you want. Respect other people's boundaries just as you would want them to respect yours. And understand that no means no. No is not an invitation for you to try to convince them to do otherwise. And if you hold these principles and these beliefs about yourself, everyone has no choice but to conform. And if they cannot, then that means that they just no longer belong in your life. It's very simple. It all starts with you. It all starts with deciding. You have the choice. Well, guys, thank you for listening and thank you for watching. I appreciate you. If you have any comments, leave them down below. Subscribe if you feel called, and I will see you guys in another video.